What's up, guys? I'm Chris Spags here, back with another Four Corners video for today's 12-game MLB main slate, courtesy of Awesemo.com. We've got some high team totals today and some really chalky ownership for some hitters, so you know there should be some power going around in Major League Baseball today. So as always, I'm going to give you guys a chance to win a free month of Awesemo Plus. All you have to do right now, like this video and comment your double donk pick down below, the guy you think is going to hit 2 home runs today. If you're correct, you'll be entered to win that free month of Awesemo Plus. So right now, like the video and comment your double donk pick down below. For now, let's get on to our first corner on today's slate. The top pitchers, and Charlie Morton going against Toronto should be the top owned option industry-wide. Morton gets 3 implied runs against him. He's expected to be the number 1 owned pitcher on DraftKings with 43%, while he'll be number 2 on FanDuel with 34% and on Yahoo with 46%. Morton's 30.1% K rate this year and 1.1 whip looks good given Toronto's got a 24.3% K rate versus right-hand pitching, but a Toronto lineup who's improving with Brandon Drury, the only hitter under a 100 WRC plus, can be tougher than it seems. Morton's been really solid on the year, so I don't mind going in, but I will probably come under the field on him because there's one guy I like also as a pivot point, who I'll talk about in the lower owned options a little bit later on. Jacob deGrom versus Miami should also be popular today on some sites with 2.7 implied runs against them, which are a slate low. deGrom will be the number 1 owned pitcher on FanDuel with 34% and on Yahoo with 65%, and he's not available on DraftKings main slate, which is going to make Morton more appealing there, obviously. deGrom's 31.6% K rate is tops on the slate, and Miami's 25.2% K rate, as well as a low 124 ISO, seem to offer little risk, with deGrom easily the top projected pitcher where available on DFS sites. Ownership aside, I would prefer deGrom to Morton on sites where he is available. I think it's a strong spot here versus deGrom, one where it's hard to imagine him getting blown up. And Rick Porcello versus Kansas City should also find some ownership today with 4.3 implied runs against him. Porcello will be the number 2 owned pitcher on DraftKings with 30%, but he'll be much less owned everywhere else. Porcello isn't good with a 1.5 whip and a 5.3 xFIP, but his value pricing versus a Kansas City team with an 88 WRC plus versus right-hand pitching seems worth some exposure, but likely not the high ownership expected for him on DK. Rick Porcello's never a guy I'm excited about, but with his value pricing, I could see why people may want to go there. I'd still rather go to some other guys, and there's one I'll talk about as well in the lower owned options who I think is a good price point pivot. Now into our next corner, the top stacks on the slate, and a Milwaukee stack going against Dario Agrazal is going to be a popular option today. Milwaukee gets 5.3 implied runs. They project to be insanely high owned for a slate of this size with a 237 ISO and 6.2 xFIP that Agrazal allows. There's value pricing for Milwaukee versus Agrazal, who doesn't miss bats with an 11.6% K rate. It seems extremely appealing given that Milwaukee's got a 195 ISO versus right-hand pitching, but over 20% ownership for Christian Yelich, Yasmani Grandal, Mike Moustakas, and Travis Shaw especially seems lofty. I like this spot for Milwaukee with Dario Agrazal not a good pitcher, Pittsburgh's Park also a good one for hitters, and Milwaukee just a quality hitting team, but the ownership here seems really high, so I could see wanting to get away from there and try to find some ways to differentiate in tournaments. A Cubs stack versus Chris Bassett should also find some ownership today with 5.7 implied runs for them. The wind blowing out at Wrigley and cheap prices makes the Cubs likely to find ownership despite Bassett's decent 1.2 whip and 22.5% K rate. Bassett is a serviceable pitcher with just 34% hard contact allowed with a 4.8 xFIP, but on a windy day, it's possible that the Cubs produce the 199 ISO versus right-hand pitching on the year. The prices for the Cubs are really appealing, but I do think Bassett is mediocre enough to mitigate damage. I'm not crazy about the spot, definitely not as crazy about as the one from Milwaukee, but I could see having some exposure because the value prices here are really appealing. And a Cincinnati stack versus Patrick Sandoval should also pick up some ownership with 5.7 implied runs for them. Sandoval gets his first Major League Baseball start after allowing a 1.7 whip, but also notching 11 Ks per 9 in AA and AAA in 2019. The park factors are going to favor Cincinnati, as well as a lineup where Nick Senzel, Eugenio Suarez, and Phillip Ervin are over a 147 WRC plus versus left-hand pitching, and Tucker Barnhart is the worst in the lineup with a 94 WRC plus. Sandoval's strikeout ability may make it a slightly tougher spot than it seems, but that high whip seems that there should be some production allowed today for Cincinnati in a good hitting park. Onto our next corner, the lower owned options on today's slate, and the Dodgers stack going against Michael Wacha is one of the teams that I like. The Dodgers get 5.4 implied runs, and Wacha's been shockingly decent versus left-handed batters with a 1.2 whip and 3.9 xFIP, but the Dodgers lefties are a different situation entirely with how good they are. Conversely, Wacha's also been abused by right-handed batters with a 1.6 whip, 6 xFIP, and 223 ISO allowed, so the Dodgers' 219 ISO and 116 WRC plus versus right-hand pitching makes everybody viable. Given Wacha's splits, it does seem like righty batters can be beneficial to put into your stacks, but I think I have no problem going with the lefties here because it doesn't make sense why he's been so good versus lefties, but not so good versus righties. Lucas Giolito versus Detroit also interests me with 4.4 implied runs against him. Giolito's had some down moments recently, but he still has a 30% K rate with a 1.1 whip in 2019. Detroit has a 26.3% K rate versus right-hand pitching along with a 73 WRC plus, with Miguel Cabrera the only hitter at a 100 WRC plus in the lineup. This is a quality team to target against. With that high ownership for Charlie Morton and also some high ownership for deGrom on the sites where he's available, then going to a guy like Giolito who has comparable strikeout upside in a better matchup could be a nice situation overall. And a Boston stack versus Mike Montgomery interests me with 7.2 implied runs for them, which are a slate high. Boston isn't too highly owned despite going against Montgomery's 1.8 whip and low 13.2% K rate in 2019. Mookie Betts, JD Martinez, and Xander Bogaerts should be a somewhat popular mini stack with all three over a 127 WRC plus versus left-hand pitching, but a full Boston stack will be less owned despite Montgomery's badness versus both sides of the plate. Boston seems very capable of putting up big production against Mike Montgomery today. I like going to a full stack here because the ownership right now seems like it's going just to that mini stack of the best hitters. And Aaron Savall versus Texas interests me with 4.1 implied runs against him. Savall performed well in his one Major League Baseball start this year versus Detroit, and now he gets Texas with a park downgrade and a 25.6% K rate versus right-hand pitching. Savall did not miss bats well in his one start with a 4.6% swing strike rate, despite his 26.1% K rate, and he hasn't been a good strikeout pitcher in the minors, but with guys like Shin-Soo Choo, Danny Santana, and Nomar Mazara, the only quality hitters over a 110 WRC plus in the Texas lineup, could be a decent value spot for Savall. Basically, if people are willing to go to Rick Porcello, I'm willing to go to a guy like Aaron Savall who's shown some ability to limit damage, even though the strikeout numbers shouldn't be there as high as they were in his one start. And now on to our last corner of the one-offs, and Aaron Judge going against Gabriel Inoue interests me. Judge is priced down despite going against Inoue's 1.5 whip and 5.2 xFIP versus right-hand batters at Baltimore's power-friendly park with a horrendous bullpen behind him too. The Yankees as a stack are also an interesting lower-owned option, but I think Judge alone, his price is down, he does have that power. It's a nice spot to go to him as a one-off today. And Keston Hiura versus Dario Agrazal interests me. Hiura is one unknown part of the chalk Milwaukee stack despite his 301 ISO and 157 WRC plus versus right-hand pitching, with Agrazal also worse versus right-handed batters with a 6.8 xFIP and 276 ISO allowed. I still like that full stack, and obviously a guy like Christian Yelich is the one-off you'd want the most, but Keston Hiura is not going to be owned and he can put up production. He could be a guy who gets that full Milwaukee production without being a high-owned part of that very chalky stack. And Aristides Aquino versus Patrick Sandoval is also a one-off who interests me. Aquino will be high-owned on FanDuel and Yahoo due to his basement price, with him hitting very well in a very limited sample size thus far, while generating 67% hard contact. Aquino is going to be really highly owned on FanDuel and Yahoo, so I could see going there today because he is really cheaply priced. And he does seem like he's shown some quality hitting ability so far. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on today's slate. So right now, please like the video, and also if you want to win that free month of Osmo Plus, comment your double dong pick down below. On Friday, we had nobody getting the one double dong that was in Major League Baseball, so let's get back on track today. I believe in you guys. I'm confident one of you guys is going to take it down. So right now, like the video and comment your double dong pick to win that free month of Osmo Plus. If you don't want to wait for that free month of Osmo Plus, you can also use the promo code Switch and Hedge for half off your first month of Osmo Plus. Get all the ownership projections, the player projections, the deep dive column, the lineup builder tool, a million different things that'll help you make better MLB DFS lineups every single day. So use that promo code Switch and Hedge right now for half off your first month of Osmo Plus. Go follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Spags. My podcast is out over the weekend. I got a bunch of content coming out for NFL season, of course, with all the MLB stuff I do. So go check me out on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Spags. I'll be back tomorrow with another Four Corners video. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you all had a great weekend, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with that one. So enjoy your day, guys, and good luck.